Well, greetings, Introduction to Business students. This is week number 13 out of 14 here at Chaffey College in our Business 10 class, Introduction to Business. And we're going to be looking this week at understanding money and financial institutions. Of course, you know that there's only one more week, and I believe there is one more chapter for us to consider next week. But this week we're looking at the beginnings of or the continuation of money. I think last week we looked at accounting and financial statements. And this week we look at how do you use your money and what's the best way to invest it, things like that. So I think the next chapter we're going to get into is dealing a little bit with investments. That'll be next week, but this is what we're looking at. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen, and I'm going to share with you our homepage in Canvas. Again, we're down to the wire. We are almost done. So that means we're in module number 4, and our class ends next Friday on the 14th of November, a week from this Friday. So again, last week you looked at financial information and accounting. This week you're looking at money and financial institutions, and next week you're looking at raising money, so investing, things like that, financial management, security markets. So this week, chapter 15, once again, you do have a check-in assignment with a few questions from chapter 15. I want to caution you that I did add another requirement for all my check-in assignments, and this will probably be going forward in all my classes, and that is that you need to give me the page number where you found the answer. Too many students are just answering from their own memory or their own knowledge and not really looking at the textbook. Some students are using AI and giving me AI answers, which are all great, but they're not the textbook answer. What I'm looking for is, what does your textbook say about that question? And then I want you to give me the page number of that. So please do that in this last check-in assignment. Next week, your check-in assignment is just personal questions. It's not anything that you have to look up, so you don't have to worry about it next week. But this week, please use your page numbers. You have a homework assignment on choosing a bank. This is actually a little bit of math, but you're being asked to make a decision on which bank would be the best bank to bank with. And so you're looking at how many checks you write, etc., how much they charge per check, what's the base fee for the account, and the idea is to pick the best bank for your buck. And then you have a quiz on chapter 15, but please do not forget that we're also still working on our discussion post that we started last week, which was titled, What Happens When We Print Too Much Money? And we kind of seen this live out in our society today because we printed a lot of money and gave a lot of handouts during COVID. And now we're experiencing much of the repercussions of that in our world today. And it is having its impact upon the cost of items, the value of the dollar, things like that. So what happens when you print a lot of money, and a lot of money is in the market, if you will, and what happens to prices? What happens to taxes, and who pays for all that stuff? So anyway, it's a really interesting topic. You have a couple videos that you can watch to give you a good idea of what the topic is about, but make sure you continue that. It will be due next week as well, along with your final exam, etc. So that's pretty much it for week number 14 or 13, where we have a check-in assignment, a homework assignment, a quiz, of course, and then you're continuing that discussion post on the impact of printing too much money. So have a great week, everyone, and you'll see me for one final time on video next week, where I will give you some closing comments on our class as well as on your future. So see you, or you'll see me all then next week.